This video is strictly about the realization in your 20s. Me being 24, I've realized a lot of things in life that maybe when I was younger I didn't kind of pay attention to, nor did I have this vision or this hindsight to be able to see like where the world was going to be, right? Or where I was going to be in the world, right? Life is interesting. A lot of things is about paying bills and, working a job and getting a degree, getting into debt. And I just feel like, that's just something very minute to our actual existence being here. Being a human, we have feelings, we have thoughts, we have emotions, we have goals, we have dreams and aspirations that sometimes us, and I don't want to get, I'm not cuckoo by the way, but like this system that we're in, like I said, we're working for this piece of paper that's not real. It's printed every single day. It's kind of taking time and real energy from us, right? From the things that we want to do and accomplish in life, right? If you have dreams, or if you're somebody that have certain goals and ambitions for yourself, what stops you? I'm pretty sure it's something that you 90% of the time you don't want to do, such as a job or even school, etc. And I feel like a lot of people didn't really be honest with us, or at least the people that's in their 20s now, me included. When we were growing up, a lot of our talks and narratives about becoming an adult was like this fantasy, and like everything's going to be good, and it's just nothing but just fun. And that's not the case. Like taxes to money to like these other avenues or these other like scenarios that you have to put yourself in just to survive is kind of like crazy, to see happen in real time and to also be a part of. And I feel like too, like me making this YouTube channel is a huge point, a huge emphasis on where I see myself in in life in general. I turn 25 next month. I'm at a quarter point of my year, they say, right? I feel like there's a lot of things that I could have done differently in my early 20s. Also, I've done really good. I feel like I did an excellent job, but I just think I'm just coming to the realization more and more, and the awareness is growing inside of me more and more intrinsically, that life is generally about what you want to do. Life is about what makes you happy and the things that drive you to get up and to become a better person. And I feel like nowadays that actually lacks. A lot of people aren't spiritual, and I'm not saying spirituality is just sitting in the woods and monk mode, and of course that is practices that you can do to enhance your ability to be calm, but spirituality is knowing yourself intrinsically, right? The good and bad, the flaws, the good things, your strengths, your weaknesses, and actually embracing them and accepting them. I feel like a lot of people are in this internal battle within themselves of should they be this person, or can they be able to do that, and like that causes the lowest forms of energy, which is shame, fear, anxiety, doubt, insecurities, etc. And I feel like the world is rampant off of that. It's driven off of that. It's driven off you feeling bad about yourself. It's driven off you feeling insecure about yourself, not sure about yourself, and I feel like we don't really have a lot of people that's talking about these issues personally. If you're like for example, right, if you're somebody who's down, or you're somebody who maybe you don't feel the best about your own life, I want to ask you, like, why is that, right? If you was to look in the mirror and you ask yourself, like, okay, why do I feel like this? What's causing me to feel like this? I'm pretty sure you'll have a distinctive thought that comes to your head, even if you don't say it, that maybe it may be the root of your problem. Another reason why what called me to come on and do this video is because like a lot of your problems, believe it or not, isn't that big. Now, granted, we might have this perception of small problems is enormous, or like if you lost somebody in your life physically or something, my condolences go to you. But genuinely, everything else that you can control, job, friends, relationship, etc., traits, saving money, whatever, you can change it. And I feel like the more you the more you adjust your energy to be more in tune with what you want, not what the norm is or what society says is the norm or what's okay. If you live for yourself, you're more than likely is going to attract what's for you. That is the biggest battle that I had in the past as well. Is like I used to think that getting older in my 20s, I had to go to college, I had to do certain things that was the norm, you get me? And the whole time that's someone else's norm that worked for someone else. And like the moment I started just believing in myself more and kind of like just embracing and existing more in the moment, and not actually thinking about a lot of things that I can't control was when my life increased and it changed, So if you're somebody who you're constantly down, you constantly don't know how to move forward, you constantly always question yourself and your ability to excel in life, you generally have to look in the mirror and you have to tell yourself, like, my problems are minute. My problems don't make me the person I am. It doesn't shape my character into this congruent scenario of trials and tribulations, or you going through a period of your life where it's hard. That doesn't define who you are intrinsically. That doesn't define who you are overall. You get me? You're still a cool person, and you have to have that mindset in anything you do. You get me? I've been doing YouTube for 10, 11 years. I've never blew up, never in my life. But this time, that's one of my biggest goals and aspirations that I genuinely want to accomplish for myself. So I think personally, if you're a person and you have negative thoughts continuously, you need to pause, and you have to understand that, like, especially if you're in your early 20s, like, you have nothing but time in the world ahead of you. Now, time waits for no man, but you still have a lot of time to change. You still have a lot of time to become better. You still have a lot of time to adjust your habits and your traits and your ability to become better. Get outside, get in the gym, embrace who you are more. Don't allow people that you feel like don't have an input or control of your life to dictate your actions. You go about your own flow and your integrity as a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. It's not gender based. It's just who's watching my video. I feel like personally, we are heading to a point where people are starting to embrace themselves energetically, right? A lot of the things that maybe they want to accomplish or see themselves, dwell into is happening now, and it's not just negative things that is promoted all over social media. It's actually good things, whether if that's taking care of your body or, you have certain thoughts that's allowing you to grow intrinsically as a person, That's the real value. And I feel like, as we get older and these years pass by and social media run rapid with negativity, that's becoming a lost art, to be able to just think for yourself and to be able to just be you, And I feel like if you do feel like that and you do have this feeling, this inkling, like, man, let me just do it. What's stopping you? Like, don't let nobody make you feel like you can't accomplish something or make you feel like you can't do something on your own terms. You're powerful, you're strong, you're here for a reason. What I'm saying? And I don't know your beliefs. Everybody's beliefs are different, but if it's making you a better person, it's making you grow intrinsically, you need to stick to it. And I applaud you, and I feel like that is the main goal, that is the main sense of life, is to exist and to grow and to transcend energetically. If something is not making you feel good, eliminate it, get rid of it. But it's your boy Amasaro, and my real name is AJ Collins, of course, but then again, I needed a name that had intent, that also can describe the intention of my videos. But most importantly, I didn't want to put my real name because people from the past, they watch you and then they mess up your algorithm, whatever. But take care of yourself, man. I really appreciate y'all. It's not hard to Actually, it is hard. It is hard to be yourself in this world where everybody else want to be everybody else. You get me? But take care of yourself and just make sure that you are aligning yourself energetically, to become a better person, but most importantly, to become a better you. But I'm out. I love y'all, man. Take care.